It is 5 o'clock, so we're gonna get started. The first Zoom tunes of 2026. It gets harder and harder to say those new years as you get older. But here we are. Okay, so the first thing I always like to remind people is the recording is on. When I joined, you probably heard on your end a thing that says the recording was happening. So I just want to remind people you are being recorded. And I often try to get the recording out like Thursday or Friday of this week. Once the recording is rendered, and I just edit off a little bit. The other thing I like to remind people is as you join the meeting, your microphones are automatically muted. This helps people who have to join late. They won't disturb the meeting. But that also means that if you need to call out something, a question or something, you're going to have to unmute yourself and just call it out, because I can't really see raised hands or anything if I'm in the act of playing. So please be familiar with unmuting yourself to jump in and ask a question, and questions are always acceptable, even if I'm in the middle of playing something. I really encourage you to ask questions. This is your time to get what you can out of these sessions and this slow jam. My intention, my goal for this evening is to just share these great songs with you and hopefully provide some helpful tips, hopefully in the sense of my getting the words out of my mouth in a way that makes sense. Provide some tips to you for playing these tunes, and also answer questions that you have. My goal in providing these sessions is to encourage everyone to continue their own journey in playing the Mt Dulcimer. It is your journey. You can't compare it to anybody else's. You can't compare your playing to anyone else's, and you have a unique thing to offer the world in playing this music. So that's what I'm trying to encourage people to do. Okay. Let's get right in it. I like to start with a tuning check, and that's mostly because I tune my instrument before playing it all the time. And I do this tuning to help my ears learn what the string should sound like. So here you go. I start with the outside string, the bass string. Typically that's the one farthest away from you, and that is a D3. If you're counting Ds on a piano keyboard, that would be D3, the D below middle C on a piano keyboard. Thumbs up when you get it. Okay, the middle string is an A. Also the A below middle C. Okay, thumbs up when you get it. Great. And the D on the melody string, the string closest to you, that's now a D4. It's exactly an octave above the bass string. Alright, I got a good thumbs up. Okay, it's not completely, necessary for you to be, in tune. It just helps it sounds better, this is the long and short of it. Alright, so one thing, I didn't do, here we go. This is going to take a minute. Does anyone have any questions while I'm doing this? Because I have to get my iPad connected to the Zoom thing. Here we go. Let's see if I can search. Let's see if this will work. Yay, that's good. Now click the link. And join. Turn off my video and sound for that. Yay, stay participant. Okay, we're almost there. Now, let's see if I can share my screen. Okay. Yes. All right. So I like to share the music on the screen so that people can see it. If you've downloaded the music, that's also it's actually better if you can have the printed out or on your own device. But for those people who haven't yet had a chance to download the music, I will share. But I first wanted to share a couple of just encouraging 1st of January type things. Yeah, so create a habit. This is, the habit should be, oh, I want to play my dulcimer. Even if it's 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes every 3 days, it's a habit. And the more you play, the more you will progress. And the last one of these that I want to share is that often we set a goal and we think it's a straight line to achieving that goal, and it really isn't. It's a very circuitous route, and everybody's route through this is different. And that's why I said at the beginning, this is your journey, and you shouldn't worry if it takes longer or faster, or if you go in different directions than other people. That's perfectly human and perfectly natural, and what you should be doing. So anyway, keep in mind that if you continue to practice and play your dulcimer, that over time you will enjoy it more and more and more and more. And that's really what I just want to encourage everyone to remember. Even, the days when you're feeling lost and you're feeling frustrated, just push through that. Keep playing. Play simple, I shouldn't say simple songs. Play songs that you feel you know well and play well those days. And then on days you're feeling stronger, start tackling other songs. All right. Enough of the January 1st speechifying. Let's get to the music. So the first song is called Sweet Betsy from Pike. This was an old Western kind of song. It is in 3/4 timing, waltz timing. There is a pickup note. So I will count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and we'll come in. Now, if you are brand new beginner player, and if you are, or if you're brand new to this song, then I encourage you to just try to keep up with the melody line. That's the lowest line of the tab. I can circle the first line of that. It's this stuff down here. All right? So if you're, and then each following line of music, just play those melody notes. If you're more advanced, try to throw in a couple of the chords. In this song, that does use an extended A chord, the 1, 2, 4 A as a chord. That's a pretty big stretch for some people on some dulcimers. So if that's too much of a stretch for you, replace it with 4, 4, 4. It's just another version of an A chord. Okay, let's get started. This is Sweet Betsy from Pike. I count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we come in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oops. Yay! How's that for people? Thumbs up if that was okay. And remember, if you have a problem or a question or need me to speed up or slow down, just unmute and yell it out, okay? I did want to point out one thing at the end of this song where you have the 1, 2, 4, the A chord, and then you go down to 3, and then 1, and then you have a 1, 0, 1. It's a good idea to try to smooth out your playing, to remember to leave that 1 on the bass string using your middle finger if you can, and just leave it there as you move and leave your 2 on the middle string, and then just move your finger down, slide your finger down from 4 to 3, and then drop your ring finger on 1, and then lift up your middle string. You see what I'm doing there a little bit? Thumbs up. I can show you, let me unshare for a second. I mean, I'll do the whole song unshared, but you can see what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is I leave this finger down, leave these 2 down when I go down to the 3, and then I drop my ring finger down, and I'm still holding all of these down, and then I lift up. Right? And essentially you have only 3 strings. So if you lift up any of the strings, they will stop ringing. So that's the key to smoothing out your playing. If you feel like you're not, whoops. Yeah, however the song goes. All right? Sorry at the end. Total whoop. Does that make sense to people? That's just one thing to try. Even as a very early beginner on chords, try to keep your fingers down until the last possible moment that you need to lift them up to make the next chord. All right, so we're going to play this song one more time with the screen share up, and then I'll play it once without the screen share so people can have my fingering for the recording. So again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we come in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something's not right there. Yay! Alright, I'm going to play this song through without the screen share on, just so people can see my total fingering on this. Yes. It's also a good idea if you're playing songs like this to sing them either in your head or out loud if you're a good singer, or if no one else is in the room. I'm a horrible singer, so I don't really do that, but I will try this on this song so that you can hear how that works. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, don't you remember sweet Betsy from Pike, who crossed the wood ferry with her lover Ike, with 3 yoke of oxen and a yellow dog, a dog, rooster, and one There you go. Questions about Sweet Betsy from Pike. Eventually, I'm playing it really slowly. This is a slow jam. Some people would consider it a sloth jam. Right? That's more up to tempo, and it's getting more of that waltz feeling into the song. Alright, moving on, we're going to play Take Me Out to the Ball part. I thought, it's a great song. It's springtime almost, right? How many weeks to pitchers and catchers report? I should know this. I should know this. I'll get a weekly update from my husband. This is a 2-pager, so you will see when we get to it the page on the screen shift. Okay? Don't let that scare you. And technically, there is a rest in a couple of these measures. If you're not quite sure what a rest is, that's these. Whoops, can I have a writing tool, please? Thank you. That's these things. And if you were playing in an ensemble, if you were playing in some sort of orchestration group, you'd really want to mute your strings. So theoretically, with the rests in place, this is what the song sounds like. You're really muting the strings usually with your strumming hand. If you're playing by yourself, it sounds weird to mute them. So, just let the first strum ring until you get to the next note, and it won't be a problem. Again, if you're just beginning, if you don't know this song, if the chords look a little challenging for you at this point, just play the melody line to begin with. And then as you learn the melody line, you will naturally start fitting in the chords if you want to. It's also a great song just to play noter style melody on. Alright, again, this is 3/4 time. There is no pickup, so I'm going to just count 1, 2, 3, and we will come in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. 2, 3. Page turn. Oh, my page turner thing stopped working. Ah! Okay, hold on. Sorry. Gotta get that fixed. Sorry. We will start on the second page once it starts working again. Oh man. I knew something technology-wise was going to fail me tonight, and it looks like it's this. I have this page turny thing. Alright, you going to do it? Nope. Alright. I'm going to have to page turn by hand, which means we'll have to stop at second pages. So I'm sorry about that. The second page of Take Me Out to the Ball Game starts exactly like the first page did. And again, I'll count into 3 and we'll go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3. All right, so you hear me counting a little bit. That's for me to keep track with these long holds. Obviously, the last two measures of the first line, you have a A7 chord, and that goes to that's a 3-2-4 chord, and that goes to a 1-0-1 chord. And if I don't count, I'll go too soon, right? I'm counting. I get my knee moving to keep the beat, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? That's how I keep up with the beat, and it's something that I'm going to encourage you throughout tonight to try and practice a bit of, because when we get into the multi-part arrangements later on, it's going to be important. All right, and I'm going to turn off the share once and play this through somehow without my pedal. That's going to be kind of hard, but we'll try one more time. You can do it, little pedal, right? Yes, now you choose to work. Okay. All right. I'm going to play this through for the video and for those people who like to see my fingering, because there are people on the call that like to watch my fingering. Get my headphone out of the way. Alright, I'm going to count to 3 and then we come in. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lena, sorry, can you show us the music?
Yeah. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, sorry.
You're fine. So I had it up a while for the first couple
see.
plays.
Okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just confused.
No, it's okay, Michelle. So, yeah, I keep it up for the first couple of plays, and then I like to play through it at least once without the music up, because there are people that really want to see my fingering, and also for the video recording, then you can see, people can go back and see my fingering. All right, so here we go. And that, folks, please, if you have any questions, do exactly what Michelle just did and unmute and yell it out, because when I'm playing my own instrument, I can't see the screen. All right. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, rest. 2, 3. I messed myself up. Now we go. I flipped the page too soon. 2, 3, 1. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So one of the things you might have noticed is I'm also using my strumming hand to keep the beat. I keep going back and forth. If you are not comfortable going back and forth, then one of the best ways to get comfortable with that is every time you hear a piece of music on the radio, on the TV, or whatever, just strum against your leg like this, right? And that's going to get your strumming hand going back and forth and getting into that rhythm. And if you're doing it to like Motown music or country music or rock music, this hand will develop a very steady beat, which is going to be very helpful. All right, moving on. If the technologies will allow. And let us share the screen. Okay, turn off the device audio because you don't need to hear that. Get my music back up. So this is another song that's pretty popular. For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. I like these first songs to be songs that people have at least heard at some point in their past, because it just helps you when you know the song, you've heard it before. It just helps to have it come out of your fingers. Okay, again, if you're just beginning, play the melody line. Does anyone have a question about that or want me to highlight that again? Okay, hearing none. This is in 6/8 timing, which is a popular tuning, popular timing for things like Irish jigs. So it's a very good tuning to get familiar with. There is a pickup note. The 8th notes take 1 beat, not quarter notes in 6/8 timing. The 8th notes take 1 beat. So that very first 8th note is 1 beat. So I would count, to count in for this, you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then come in on this 6th beat. And we're going to give it a try. This one also has 2 pages, and my foot pedal is working again. Yay! Here we go. I'm going to count to 5, and then we come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. 5, 6. How was that for people? Thumbs up if it was okay? Yeah! Yay! Okay. And, do people understand in the last line there's a slide? So you could play or pick that 4, or you can just slide it with your thumb. Okay, you have to keep your thumb pressed down. It's a little subtle difference in sound. Instead of doing this, where you really pick that 4. Alright, questions about any part of that? Alright, I think I am going to play this one through with my fingerings so you can see that. And let's see if I can do it. Okay, yes, and my pedal continues to work. Yay. Okay. going to play it a little faster, a little more up to tune, but I think you'll still be able to see my fingering. The chords are pretty basic shaped chords. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I sped up there at the end. Sorry, it's a bad habit of mine. Any questions, thoughts? Do you like these 3 songs? I hope. Yay, okay. I think they give you a lot of chance to work on chording and switching around chords if that's what you choose to do. All right, moving on. I would like to just point out that in the learning, I don't think I have it in here. Really? No. Okay. So in the learning resources folder, there are, let me see if I have it anywhere in here. Nope. Okay, let's look over here. Sorry. No, great. Okay. There are, I will remember to show this next week. There are, let me turn my video around. Oh, you know what? I can probably share from here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Get the drive up. Get the folder up. Get the zoomy things up. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen from my computer. That one, share. Allow, whatever you're doing. Okay, so I just wanted to take a brief out and say there's this folder for learning resources, and this doesn't have music in it per se. There's, you know, those small habit thing and their goal thing is in there, but also in here are these 3 counting rhythm things. And these are examples of how to count time in 3/4 time, 4/4 time, and 6/8 time. This isn't music per se, it's just examples of how you would count, right? So down here, if I was to play this line, okay, I would count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So that's all I'm saying, is that this is a way of helping you count. And then there are alternatives when you get into dotted quarter notes of using the expressions of 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, so that's in here for 3/4 time, 4/4 time, and 6/8 time. And if you're not good at these timing things, then I suggest you look at those and spend some time with those. Why? Let me switch my camera around so you can see me. What we're going to get into now are arrangements, different parts of songs. There's the chord melody, there's the noter, which is just the melody. Some of the arrangements have like a finger-picked version, either the melody is being fingerpicked or the bass part is being fingerpicked. And whenever you're playing with other people, either you're playing one part and they're playing another part, you really have to be on the right time, right? If you're only going to play chords, you got to be able to count. It's 3 beats to a measure in a waltzing, so you got to be 1, 2, 3, chord, 1, 2, 3, change a chord, 1, 2, 3, chord. You know, so you have to be able to do that. And with the dulcimer, it's harder than it sounds, right? Because we're thinking this is 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and we're concentrating on those as the numbers, right? The fret numbers. So it's actually harder than you think, and it's something that's really worth practicing as a dulcimer player, is to be able to count the beat in your head while you're also focusing on finding the right number on your fretboard. Okay, yay. So moving on, the next piece of music is a song called Cripple Creek. Cripple Creek is a very popular, I am gonna change my camera around, yay, and I'm gonna share the music. Zoom, share. Any questions so far? Again, I highly encourage you to stop me at any time. So the Cripple Creek versions I have in the share that I shared out is a melody only version, melody noter only version. Then 2-finger chords, and finally a 3-finger chords. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know anyone who plays Cripple Creek in a full speed jam with chords. Okay? They're just playing the notes. They may play 2-finger chords on some of the chords, but it's really hard to play the song. You know, when you're playing it that fast, it's hard to get the chords in. So very few people actually play these full chords. So what I suggest is to learn the song, just the melody version first, and then maybe add the 2-finger chords in. Okay? And by 2 fingers, what I'm saying is you're going to use only 2 fingers to make half a chord, or 2/3 of a chord. Okay? So let's go back to the melody version. Some people have already know this song. The first 2 lines of the music repeat. That's in case you didn't know, for those who don't read music. Just want to point out that's a repeat sign, and so is this. And it is enclosed here. So that's what we mean by the first 2 lines of music repeat, and then you move on to the 3rd line of music and you play that twice. This is a traditional, some people call it AABB structure of the song. Any questions about that? Okay, here we go. This is in 4/4 time. There's no pickup. I count to 4. We're gonna play it slowly to begin with. As the months progress, we'll probably move up in speed, but let's play this one slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats. Now to the 3rd line. Third line again. Okay, Okay, it's a pretty straightforward song. I'm not going to say anything is simple. Nothing is simple. It's just a matter of what you may or may not be able to play. This is a very popular dulcimer jam tune, so I suggest you do learn it, and as you get more proficient, slowly speed it up. Okay, and one of the ways to speed up, I'm going to just take the share, stop the share for a second so that you can see how I'm fingering this. Oops, wrong one, that one. Okay, thank you for the message, and get rid of that. So I use multiple fingers, okay, even when I'm just playing the melody, okay, and that allows me to speed up. I'm up here on 7 on my thumb because I don't have to go any higher than that. But then I can just drop my ring finger on the 4. You see that? People used to call that spider fingers. Does that make sense? So that's just a way of speeding up, and I don't suggest you play the song fast at the beginning. I'm only saying as you speed up, use multiple fingers. Okay, let's look at, and I will share it out. Let's look at the 2-finger version. And we go there, we go there. Okay, 2-finger chords. So normally a full D chord would be a 4 on the bass, a 5 on the middle, and a 7 on the melody string. And that's a beautiful, full, everything rich chord. You can leave off the thing on the bass, and it's still a D chord. It still sounds D-ish. Okay, so let's play this through this way once, and I encourage you, if you have other arrangements from other people that are full of these really beautiful lots and lots of chords, just scrub out the bass line. If you're having trouble playing those beautiful chords, scrub out the fingering on the bass line, at least to begin getting approachable. And eventually, if you play the 2-finger version, your fingers will eventually be able to play the full 3 chords. All right, I'm going to count to 4 like I did before, and we'll come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. What am I doing? Okay, all right. I give up. Oh, I don't know. That's my squirrely brain going off and thinking about something else. What I was thinking about was Michelle, my friend, had once asked me, is the fingering under the note always the chord if the chord is listed above? And there's an example of this here. You have the D chord above, and it's a 0, 0, 1. That's not your usual D chord, okay? But the whole kind of, you go right into the D chord going up to the 2. Right? So just bear that in mind. The notes directly under that chord sign is not necessarily a true full chord. But somewhere in the measure, you're going to hit the D chord. And those chords up there are for people like guitarists who want to play along with you, or people who are playing a ukulele, they want to play with you. They will play the D chord beginning at that measure, even though you're playing something that's not quite a D chord to begin with. Does that make sense to people? And Michelle, does that help you? She might not still be on the call. All right. I'm not going to go into the 3-finger chords. As I say, no one I know actually plays 3-finger version of this. Especially in jams, you're just playing it so fast that it doesn't matter. And usually in a jam, you have somebody's playing a harmony part, and somebody's playing a different part anyway. So it all just blends together. Okay, moving on. Oh, and there's a version of how to count for Cripple Creek. Again, just emphasizing it's a good idea to practice this beat counting of the beat in your head while you're focusing on the numbers. Okay, the next song is it's a really pretty cool song called Brenton Fisherman's Prayer. And in the share, I have a chord melody version. I have a picked version. This is the melody, like finger picked, and I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. There's an alternate chords version. So if you just wanted to play chords, if somebody was playing the melody, you could play these chords as they were playing the melody, and it would sound beautiful. Okay, these are not the chords. If you look at this, there's some chords in here that are not in the original. So if you look at the third measure, we have over here, we have a G chord. Whoops, writing, not erasing. A G chord. Okay, in the alternate chords, that G chord is formed by a 3-3-5 because 5 has to be on the melody for the melody to be true to this song. However, in the alternative chords version, I'm giving you a 5-6-7. Okay, so that's going to sound really pretty against a 3-3-5. It's still a G chord, it's just a different version of the G chord. Okay, so this is one way, using alternative chords is one way to play these songs and have different parts. Okay, and there's a bass version, which essentially brings the melody string up onto the bass string, and you're just playing the melody up there. And there's also a noter version. This is all in the share. You can pick out whichever one you want to play. I'm going to play through the song. I'm going to first play through the melody this way, just the plain melody, noter style. I am actually going to use a noter to do that, I hope. Woo! Okay. And then I will play the chord melody version to give you a sense of what those chords are. This is also in 6/8 timing. I told you it's a popular timing, so you'll see it crop up a lot of the times. So I count to 5. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we come in on the 6 with the first note, which is the fret 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. That's the simple melody of the song. It's very pretty. I'm going to move back over to the chord melody version and play through it again. Going to again count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We come in on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty little song, right? Thumbs up if you think it's pretty. And it's doable. It's doable. One thing I will ask you to do, again, you know, I throw these out here as little challenges, but you definitely want to be counting in this transition from that measure to that measure. This is 6 beats per measure. So this is, if I begin at the, I'll begin here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And that takes practice. Because you are concentrating on 2 different sets of numbers and what they mean. Okay, but this is worth practicing slowly and carefully. Questions? Any questions about that? Cool. I love giving people these challenges because, you know, if you get good at this, there's no stopping you. You can do anything. You can play any music. And that's really, you know, what I like to do is encourage people with these songs. Yes.
Can we use this with a group?
That's,
I play with a group, and I would love to be able to
yes.
everybody pick a side.
Yes, absolutely. Any of the arrangements I have shared, you can use with your group. I would love it to hear a report of how well it went, and maybe even hear a recording. That would like bring tears of joy to me. So thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna oh, I should play this once through with my fingering. So I'm gonna stop my share. Okay. Okay. Hello, go back 1. Okay. So I start with the 2, 3, 2 down. I am holding these down. Okay. And I put my thumb on 4, and then I'm just able to lift my thumb up to get the chord. So that's just a quick fingering thing. Alright? Okay, I'm going to start again. I'm going to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we come in on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, I hope you see as efficient as I can be. Alright, I'm going to play the finger picked version And I'll share that version, oops, share that version on the screen so you can see it. Again, there's several different versions of this. I'm not going to play all of them. I'm just going to play this finger picking version so you can hear that. And I'm not going to use a pick. Okay. When you start with finger picking, just to let you know, I use my index finger to pick the melody string, my middle finger to pick the middle string, and my ring finger to pick the bass string. So that's, this is what I'm practicing all the time, is playing those 3 strings independently. And whenever you are trying finger picking for the first time or flat picking, go way slow. Like just slow it down so much that you can barely hear the song yourself. But I'm gonna try and show this to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's a sweet, pretty finger pick thing. And if somebody was playing the alternative chords against that finger picking and somebody else was playing just the melody line, it's going to sound great. So I think that Michelinda, am I saying your name correctly? Wow. Great. Okay. I would love to hear how this goes. Okay, so in addition to that finger pick version, as I said, there's alternate chord version, there's a bass version. You're basically just playing the melody. And when you're playing the bass, you don't strum across all your strings. Okay, you just play the bass. Kind of like a bass player playing in a rock band is only picking the notes for the most part. Can I play it? And I hope you're hearing that, as if you're playing this on the bass string and someone else is playing the chords, it's just going to sound really pretty together. And then the noter style that we started out with. Alright, moving on. Any questions about that? We have about a half an hour to go. And 2 more songs. Yay! She did it again. Too many songs for comfort. Anyway, so I'm just going to show you. So there's Suo Gan has a melody part, which is the chord melody version. It also has a bass part, just like I did with Brenton Fisherman's Prayer. Same deal. You move the melody up onto the bass string. You play only the bass string. Okay. There's also in this version, in this set of tunes, there's a counter melody. Now, I for years thought, what's the difference between a counter melody and a harmony? And could somebody please explain that to me? What I'll just say briefly, what I figured out finally is a counter melody is a different melody. The melody of the song goes, that's the melody. A counter melody is using the same sort of notes but have a different rhythm. You can sort of hear how it goes together, and it will go together when they're played together. And the other thing, there's a noter version of this. Oh, and there's just a chords version. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just playing the chords, you still got to count the measures, like I was saying before. Okay. Oh, and then we're moving on to Skye Boat. Okay, so lots of different versions, and I have them in there so that you can challenge yourself. You can play with these with others. You can do what you like. It's a really pretty song. The other thing I would like to share about this song is you should always take a look at your songs before you begin playing them, and look at the music to try and figure out, okay, what is this thing gonna sound like? This line, and this line are identical. Now, a lot of people arrange this song so that there's differences, slight differences in the three lines, because it gets very repetitive if you don't have those differences, if you're playing in this style, this chord melody style. But I'm keeping it identical because that's actually the way the song is written. I point that out because you really have only two lines of music to memorize in this song. Once you memorize the first line, you've got 3/4 of the song, and then you only have to get this fourth line, which is different. Does that make sense to people? So it's always a good idea to look at your music first and get a sense of, okay, what is this going to sound like? So this would be an A, B, A structure. If you were doing the A, B structure. Okay, I'm going to play through the the noter version first, and then we'll play the chord melody version. All right, I'm going to count to 4, and then we come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. Third line. Last line. Okay, really pretty, nice little melody. I'm going to just undo my share for a second, as I wanted to point out with your noter, but you haven't figured out this yet, and this goes for noter or fingers if you're playing the melody. If you're trying to play the way back here behind the fret, it might not sound great. You got to get up close to the fret, and that you also have to do with the noter. Okay, if you're back here too far, it's not going to sound great. Okay, and then the other thing is, you have to move quickly. If you have a hold, right? It's not. You want to move. I can't even demonstrate it. You want to move as quickly as you can from one fret position to the next. All right, I'm going to play through the chord melody version. These are just little tips. I hope that they are helpful to people. They were things that it took me years to actually discover. I've been playing this instrument for a really long time. Okay. moving back to this is a chord melody version. I'm going to count to 4 again, and we come in. There is no pickup. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line. Last line. Alright, I'm going to play that through once, showing my fingering, because there is some interesting fingerings in here. Again, you know, the goal is to smooth out the playing and to have a string sounding so that you can hear the strings. So when I I'm going to put my middle finger on 2 on the bass to begin with. And I'm using my middle finger because I noticed at the end of that measure, I need a 2, 3, 4 chord. And if I'm using my index finger there, I don't have enough fingers to make that 2, 3, 4 chord without lifting up that 2 and changing a finger out. There is something called the finger substitution, which you will also practice at times. But the fingering I choose is often based on what comes before or after the thing I'm playing. Does that make sense? So I'm starting like this, and I drop my pinky on 1, slide my pinky up for the 2, and then I can put my thumb and index finger on the 3 and the 4. Questions about that? Does that make sense to people? And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want that 2. This is an F sharp. I would love if this F sharp would continue to ring throughout that whole measure, because that's a D chord, and an F sharp is a prominent feature of the D chord, right? If I lift it up, that F sharp goes away. All right, so if I leave it down, now move everything down to the 101, the A chord, and it makes a very prominent change in the sound. It's a very prominent chord change. And again, I'm leaving my 1 down, my 1 on the bass down, lifting up my ring finger for the 0, dropping my thumb down for the 2, and then dropping back down for the 101. Alright, I'll play through it so you see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think I'm also going to play through the counter melody because it's a different melody. It's not the same as the melody Oh, that sounds so weird when it comes out of my mouth. I'm sorry if it's confusing. This has 2 pages, okay? And this is, again, where counting and learning and really practicing counting out the measures is going to help you. Because when one person is playing, somebody else has to concentrate and be playing. Okay, so you're not playing the same melody. You're not playing the same thing. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see this counter melody. And that's really when music is beautiful, right? When you're playing with others, when you're sharing this music with others. This does have 2 pages, even though the first one only has 1 page. So there's the same number of measures, I promise you. The same number of measures. It's just that the way you have to spread out the notes in this version, you can't see them all clearly if it's all in 1 page. So I'm going to play through this counter melody, hopefully, and so that you can hear it. And I'm going to count to 4 and then come in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ugh. All right, do over. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's still kind of, it goes really well, take my word for it, and it's just a different thing. If you think about how a music box sounds, when you play these 2 versions together, it sounds like a music box is playing this song. And then when you add in, the noter style, somebody's just playing the melody with a noter, and then you add in the chords. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just going to sound really pretty. And then I think I also have, do I have a bass version in there? Probably, yeah. Somewhere there's a bass version. Hey. Give them all a whirl. See how it goes. The last song we're going to tackle is a song called Skye Boat Song. I'm sure you've heard of this at some point. Woo! Okay, and I'm throwing this one in here because everybody hates to play those high notes way up here. Get a good shake of the head. So this song is a challenge to get you to learn those frets way up there high, and I'll show you some tricks here shortly to do that. In this version, in this set of tunes, I have a chord melody version, 2 pages, a bass version, a bass picked version. So this is not a melody picked version. This is if you're playing the bass. And you want to get down on the bass. And impress all of your friends with your bass playing ability. Okay? And we also have a harmony version. Now a harmony, a true harmony, is the melody that's like a fifth or a third, D, F sharp, a fifth up or down or something like, or a third up or down or something. So this is playing it on the middle string. Whoops. Right? So all I did was move the melody notes to the middle string, okay, to get a harmony. So now again, you don't want to strum across your strings. You just want to pick, just like playing it on the bass. Does that make sense to people? Now if somebody's playing it's like singers, you know, the barbershop quartets. You know, you have one person playing singing the melody note, and then the other people harmonizing with them. This is how you build harmonies. You can also do this by having a dulcimer in your group that is tuned DAA instead of DAD. And then they would just play the melody just like you're playing it, and it would be if they were playing it on DAA and you were playing it on DAD, it would be a harmony. Now, it can get tricky. Usually you want, if the main song is in DAD, you probably want 2 or 3 DAD players and 1 DAA. Just that way, the actual melody you're shooting for, the actual key that you're shooting for to do it in is dominant. But anyway, I digress. This is a true harmony as opposed to the counter melody. Remember, I was always confused what the difference was. Okay. And then I also provided the melody only noter style. I mean, this is just the melody notes of the song. Now, I really recommend that you start with the melody version, particularly if you're not comfortable way up on your fretboard, okay? So, first things first, how much time we have? Okay, great. I'm going to stop the share for a second. When you have to play high up on your fretboard, this is my 10th fret is right here. So this is my 11th fret. If my dulcimer is like this on my lap, that's not going to work really well. It's really hard to reach because my belly is a little bit bigger than it should be these days. So what I have to do is I have to use a strap, and I have to kick the thing way off my lap. And now this fret is much more reachable. Okay, now I've got this shoved as far off my knee as it will go. Okay, I can still reach these frets down here, but these frets are much more comfortable. Okay, if you don't have a strap, you can use that shelf lining paper that's sticky on your knees, or you can put it on a table, you know, whatever. But make sure you have easy access. That's the biggest challenge for getting up here high on your fretboard, is that your dulcimer is like way over here and you're trying to cross your body to get there. Okay, the other thing is just memorizing the numbering of here. All right, we know we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and God's honest truth, if you just spend a couple of minutes a day over the course of a week or two and just start way up high and say, okay, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, while, fretting them while looking at your fretboard. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.5, 6, all right? If you just do that up and down your fretboard for a minute or two every day for a week, you will quickly remember. This is 10, 11, 12, right? And those are the landmarks. 7 is this series of 3 in the middle. And then the little one above that is 3 above 7. That's 10. Just like this is 3 above 0. Now this is 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 and a half, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You almost never get this high. Almost never. 12 is usually the highest. You'll see. Does that make sense to people? Okay. So let's go back to the music. Woohoo! And share this great song. And we still have 10 minutes left. Yay! I didn't talk our way and not be able to play the songs. Woohoo! Okay. I'm going to play this melody-only noter version first. And my pedal is still working. Alright. I'm just going to do this with my fingers, not with the noter. This is in 3/4 timing. There's no pickup, so I count 1, 2, 3, and we come in. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Sorry. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. 2, 3. Alright, that's the basic melody of the song. Note that this song ends, woohoo, on an A note and an A chord. That makes this what they call a crooked tune. Most songs end on what's called the tonic in the key of D. That's the D note. Okay? This song does not. And it gives it a sense of it just keeps going. All right? And so this song, you just keep going. There's many verses. So you go right back to the beginning and start the next verse. So that's often what people will do if they want people to have a feeling of the song never resolves. Never ends, as it were. All right, I'm going to play for you the chord melody version. And then I will do it without the share so people can see my fingering, because there's an interesting fingering on the second part of this. Again, if you're still just working on the melody, just play the melody line. It's all the same. All right, 1, 2, 3. Can I play the song? 2, 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay. So I'm going to do this once without the share on. Stop the share. Woohoo. See the music. Okay. The interesting part is on the second page, the top of the page where it says the 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to get my 7, 8, 9. I'm going to have my ring finger ready because it goes. I didn't have to move at all. I just lifted my thumb and dropped my ring. And then slide down. 5, 6, 8. Same thing. Don't have to move at all. 7, 5, 5. 5, 5, 7. Same thing. There you have to move. And again you move. Right? So again, that's looking at the notes, the chords before and after to see which fingers are going to give you the most efficient use and least movement as possible. Alright, so I'm going to go from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Saw me move my dulcimer there because it was hard to get up there. I hadn't set it up right. Easier. Here comes the fingering. 3. I'm hardly moving at all. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Questions about the song or the fingering? Okay, well, let me switch my camera and unspotlight me so we can see all of your smiling faces. How was that for people? 1st of January. Helpful? Yeah? Okay. Is this good for people? Good pace? Good songs? Okay. Alright, so I am always open for questions. So if you think of something and you want me to review something next month or even in between the months or answer a question in email, please just shout it out, okay? Okay, we're here the first Tuesday of every month. Yay! I often at this point, I'm like struggling to go fast because I bit off too many songs. So I'm glad we got through all of the songs. And as the months roll by, we will play them more and repeat them and play them up to tempo. In fact, a lot of these songs go really slowly. So the tempo on these doesn't get much faster, except for Cripple Creek. Cripple Creek gets fast. Okay, we are at 6:30. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Lena. That was great. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Lena.
much.
All
Thank you. I
right.
love
Here.
the arrangements.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll get the recording out towards the end of the week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.